Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. Today's video, I think it is quite a difficult video for me to make, maybe for you to watch. So like the warning in the beginning of this video, if this subject is triggering you, please do not watch this video. I appreciate that you're following my channel, but please don't if it doesn't feel good to you, because it's an emotional subject. It can be, like I mentioned, challenging when you are going through something that affects your mental health. It can be really challenging and you can really have a struggle in daily life and everything. So if you want to watch this video, make sure that it feels 100% okay to you. I'm not forcing you, not at all. Do what feels good to you. Because in this video I am going to talk a little bit about mental health and what hiking or backpacking or nature in general can do for you when you are dealing with mental health problems. And I was thinking about this subject for quite a while, because I know that this subject is getting bigger and bigger in the world. It has been a huge thing during COVID, but years after it still is. And I was thinking about it for quite a while, I think for maybe even a year, but I couldn't really find a good starting point for myself, because I wasn't really struggling with those things myself, but back in the days. And I must say that what happened a few weeks ago did trigger me to make this video, because you heard it me say that something sad happened, and in this video I would like to talk a little bit more about it. It didn't feel good for me to do that in my backpacking trip that we did at the Rijkswald, to talk about this subject, because I thought, well, that's a happy thing. This is quite a different subject, and I did not want to combine it, because I know a lot of people watch the backpacking videos and they might have no interest at all in talks about mental health. So I decided to make that video. So that's the intro for this one. Let's give my ideas about the subject of mental health combined with nature. So first, I wasn't sure if I wanted to talk about the sad thing that happened on my YouTube channel, because it is very private, very personal. But I also thought, well, if you take a look at the views on my videos, nobody's watching my videos actually. I can be happy if I'm having 30 or 40 views. Sometimes I'm having such a view explosion when I'm making a gear video or something. But my normal videos aren't being watched that much. So I thought, well, okay, I'm going to talk about it. Because what happened to me, what made me really struggle with life at that current moment. I'm not the youngest anymore. I do not look super old, but I am 39 years old. So that means that my biological clock is starting to tick. I am single for years. Actually, always have been single. And when time is ticking, I'm working with kids, like you might know. Becoming a mom is a thing. And you obviously, normally, you need a man for that. So on your side to do that together. But I don't have that. So I don't know if this project is there, project, however you would like to call it, can be found everywhere in the world. But here in the Netherlands, and I know in Belgium, you have a project that is called BAM project. And it means bewust alleenstaande moeder in Dutch, which means that you want to be a single mom by choice. So you're going through a whole medical process and everything, and obviously a lot of costs are involved with that as well. And that is what triggered me, what made me really sad, because I had my appointment at a clinic. So they checked me, they did scans, they did my blood work and stuff like that. And I was afraid for that wasn't going to end up well because of my age. I thought, well, there is a chance that I'm too late. But it turned out that everything was okay. So I was really, really happy. And then, of course, you have to find a donor, which is going to be the dad of your child. And then you have three options. You can have your own donor, which I do not have. You can go with a donor bank from the clinic itself, and you can go with international donor. So my choice was to go with the donor bank from the clinic itself, because that was financially the most doable option for me. I could pay that, I could afford that, and I wouldn't have been struggling for my whole rest of my life to pay back money that I was paying a loan for. So I entered the whole traject and got good news at the scans and everything. And then I said, well, I would like to use your donor bank. And then she said, well, then we are having a problem. And then my heart sank, because I was thinking about this subject for years, but You might remember that in my previous jobs, I didn't earn a lot of money and I earned the minimum. And that meant that I could barely pay everything for myself, my rent, my groceries and everything. So there was no chance for a child, but it was in my heart for years. So then I got a better contract at work, better job, better payment. So last July or August, I got a note from work, Ravi, that I could stay there for unlimited times. Usually, Ravi, shh, you're getting a contract for a year and then they can extend that. Wait a sec. Always a challenge with a dog. But they can extend that and you are not sure if you still have a job after a year. And last summer they told me, well, you can stay until we are both done with it. So that gave me the point that I said, now I'm going to do it. So, but then all the things at the clinic, sorry if it is a little bit messed up, but I'm trying to remember everything and say it in the correct way. But then I said to clinic, well, I'm now financially stable. I have stable work situation. I would like to go with your donor. And then she said, well, then we have a problem because there is a waiting list for 3 years. And like I said, my heart sank. I already felt it coming that this might end up not in the way that I wanted it to end up. So I continued with my intake and did my blood work and everything. But then I drove back home and I was going through all the options. And first, of course, you're positive and then you think, well, I am going to find a way to make this happen. But it turned out that, yeah, the waiting list I cannot change. And then my only option was to go with that international donor bank. But then financially, it hit me because the clinic itself was doable for me in regards to payments. But if I have to order from a donor bank, skip it if you do not want to talk about this subject. But if I want to order something from a donor, so then you have to pay little tubes, and you can have maximum of 12 treatments for that process of becoming a single mom. And if you ordered only 5 at an international donor bank, that would only cost me 8,000 to 10,000 euros. I didn't have that, and I didn't see a chance at all to get to that money. So yeah, then it really sank into me. I was sitting at home at the couch in the evening and I was seeing if I could get a loan for something. But it meant that I was paying that back my entire life because obviously I had to think about maybe I need 12 treatments. Well, those 8,000 to 10,000 euros was only for 5 treatments. So make your calculation if I had needed 12. So yeah, the days passed by. I've been thinking about it and I found myself crying on the couch every night again because it sank in that I was not going to be a mom. And after wanting that to be for years, that really, really hit me. So I was a total mess for about 2 weeks. It didn't do me much good. I mean, that brought so much sadness. And as long as I was doing something, I was at work, I was fine. My colleagues knew about the whole process I was going through, so they were really helpful to me. If anyone of them is watching this video, I know some do, thank you. That was so welcome, and that felt so heartwarming that you were there for me whenever I needed it. But when I was sitting at home in the evening on the couch by myself, well, it was nothing but tears. So that really affected my mental health, and that was actually the reason for me to make this video. Because you heard in my backpacking video from the Rijkswald that I said I really had to go out into the woods that weekend, because that was a weekend that I decided to stop the whole process and trying to accept the fact that I was not going to be a mom. So, well, maybe a dog mom, that's a nice thing too, but not a real mom. So, you know, things were sinking in that nobody's ever going to call me mom and yeah, stuff like that. And I might be alone for the rest of my life. You never know what's going to happen. But, you know, then you're feeling sad and then you're thinking about those things. And I didn't want to be at home that weekend by myself. So I decided to book that little cabin in das Rijkswald and ask my mom to come with me so that I had a little bit of a distraction and something to do. And that made me to the point that I really felt what nature did for me at that moment. As soon as I stepped into the woods, there was a calmness coming over me that I didn't have until the point that I stepped out of my car, put on my backpack and went off for the hike. And I thought this is exactly what they mean, what nature can do for you if you are feeling really sad, struggling with mental health, maybe even worse. That it can be so calming and so relaxing, and therefore I would like to advise everyone to just go outside, go into the outdoors, because it can be so calming, it can be so relaxing, and it can do you so much good. Your mental state can improve really. And although this was a really hard subject, it really helped me. And it's not just from this one situation that I figured that out. Years back, then I'm talking about 10-15 years back, I was dealing with depression and a burnout. So then I found it out as well, that nature did me so good. And I thought, no, I do not want to do anything. All I did was wanted to lay on the couch. And there were some weekends that I forced myself to go out with my backpack. I wasn't filming for YouTube back then, but I forced myself to go out. And as soon as I was entering those woods, it was there, that calmness and that feeling that I was so so happy that I made the decision to go out in the woods, because instantly I felt better. And of course, it does not cure your problems and it doesn't solve anything. It is not gone once you have been walking through the woods for an hour. But the changes that it did to me, that I thought I have to do something with this to also encourage other people, because I know so many people are struggling with it. And then you want something, a form of distraction. But when you're really struggling with mental health problems, you do not feel happy. You do not feel like going to do something. You do not feel like going for a walk in the woods or putting up that tent on a campsite after a day. You feel like doing nothing. And this video is for me to encourage you to go into the outdoors. Do what makes you happy. If you have mountains around you and you feel happy in the mountains, go there. I wish I had them, because they make me even more happier than the woods do. But just simply do that. I mean, it is so soothing, so calming. If you would like to go to the beach, go to the beach. I decided to book a trip to Texel for next weekend, just because I know that does me good, and it makes me forget what happened. Not forever, because when I'm back home it's there again, but I do feel that it is less, and that I feel a little less sad than I did before I went. And yeah, that is something that it is so helpful. I mean, you can go to a therapist and you can pay a lot of money for a session, and most of the time stepping outside half an hour later not feeling a single bit better. But nature, it is free. Totally free, for me, for you, for everyone. And I know not every insurance, for example, covers mental health. So you might not be able to get financially the help that you need. And then you can go out in nature. And even if you just go and sit there, if you're not a hiker or a backpacker, just go to a place in the woods that you absolutely like, where you feel calm, where you feel relaxed, where it is quiet, so not a lot of people are distracting you. Take someone with you if you want to, where you can talk to, like I did with my mom on the backpacking trip, so that you do not start getting back in your sadness again. So it's not supposed to be that you are sitting there and crying all your tears out. Maybe it's a good thing to do at the beginning, but it's not to go out in the outdoors to make you even sadder. So just make sure that you're feeling comfortable. Take a book if that relaxes you. Listen to some music. Do whatever calms you down. But the extra effects of nature, they will really help you. So yeah, this video might not have a lot of structure in there, but just for me to come to the point, go out in nature. It will help you. It is free. It is available for everybody. It will do you good. I know it helped me a lot, and I know how horrible you can feel when you are dealing with mental health problems, depressions, anxiety, a burnout. Something that happened to me, a life event that happened that really changes your life, makes you really sad. A lot of people struggle with that, so I hope that I can reach at least some of those people with this video, and just to say, you will be fine, and there is a way out, and nature can help you, so use it. Although it might not seem to be the right place in the beginning, it will do you good, really. And if you want to talk with somebody about it, do it. I mean, I asked my colleagues, I told my colleagues about it because I have a few colleagues with who I can work really well. And we stay in touch outside of work. So that felt good to me. And I had my mom to talk with, but at home I am alone. So make sure that you're coming out of that situation. And that is not always easy. I have the dogs, of course, to help me out. And they are a big support as well. Because if you do not have the dogs, well, then it might be even harder to go out. Because then it is really appealing to stay on there on that couch. Because who needs you? Well, in my case, it's not the dogs. But there might be someone in your life who needs you too. Family, children, colleagues, people who you work with. In my case, children. The children love to see me when I come back at work. I mean, I enter the door and they're all calling my name and coming towards me to hug me. So yeah, that is good, and that helps you to get out of it. So find a combination that works for you, that makes you normally happy, and try to feel a little bit of happiness, and you will come over what is happening. I mean, now I can talk about the subject of not becoming a mom. I feel sad from the inside. I mean, I have to swallow to not burst into tears here, but I can talk about it. 2 weeks ago, I couldn't. But that backpacking trip in das Reichswald, and I said that I booked Texel for next weekend, but I've already been there. Now I made this video because this video is coming before Texel video. yeah. So Texel also did me so much good. So stay tuned for the video for Texel next week. But I mean, I'm feeling much better now, and I made sure that I had something to look forward to. That is happening this weekend. Really this weekend. It's now Wednesday. It's the day after tomorrow. So that will be my video after Texel. That I will tell you more about that. But that really helped to keep me going. So yeah, like I said, not a lot of structure in this video, but it is spoken from the heart. It came from a good heart, and hoping that I will be able to help at least one person out with this video. You will be fine. Thank you for watching. Enjoy the outdoors. We'll catch you on the next trail. Goodbye.